Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave, episode 35. So today I'm coming at you with another card game, and the reason why I've chosen this card game is because it's based off a video game. And I think that it's kind of a neat idea to have card games based off of video games, and I always thought there should have been a Super Mario Brothers card game, but I've never seen one, I've never heard of one. If there is one, it exists, probably in Japan, but as far as North America, no, there's no such thing as a Mario card game. But there was Tomb Raider. Now, my first experience with this game was when I bought my first PlayStation 1, PS1 or PlayStation, whatever you want to call it. And it was around the time when the PS2 came out. So the PlayStations were really cheap, so I picked one up. And I always wanted to play Tomb Raider, so I bought the game, and I had a hell of a time trying to play it. If you've seen my videos before, you'll know that I'm more of a retro game player. I play games like Donkey Kong, so when it comes to these 3D games, I was pretty terrible at it. But I did like Lara Croft, I did like the concept. I even kind of liked the movie with Angelina Jolie. I mean, she fit the role perfectly. But then I noticed a card game came out, and this was a while back. So I decided to take a shot at it. Actually, by the time I picked these cards up, they were already kind of off the market. I mean, they were selling the booster packs in stores. It went to 2 editions, so there was a first edition, and there was like a second expansion set. And then the game kind of went south. It tanked at that point. So I was able to pick them up relatively cheap. I think I bought a box of boosters for $10 online. And going back in time here, they're probably still that cheap if you find them on eBay. Anyways, just to give you an idea, here's the instruction manual. Tomb Raider Collectible card game. Now, this is obviously a time when there was lots and lots of these collectible card games coming out. I mean, Austin Powers had a card game. And we've kind of shifted away from a lot of those, and we're back to kind of the main 3, which would be Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh! So a lot of these kind of fell under the wayside and just kind of got forgotten. So just to kind of show you what this game does. Now, this plays a little bit different than what you've probably seen from other collectible card games, because you have a deck that you have to share together. So that's this deck. This is called the Cave deck. And what happens is each player gets a tomb starting point. And then from there, you have to build up your maze, kind of like a board game. A little similar to the Star Wars card game I did a video on not too long ago, where it plays a little bit more like a board game and not so much a card game. Well, like a typical trading card game, I should say. It is a card game. So you share this maze deck. And the other thing that's interesting, too, is you can build these decks based on what they give you in the book. So just take this out here. This is an example of one. It's called Death by Design. And it tells you how to lay out which cards you need to play in your deck and how to lay it out before you start the game. So you can play multiple versions of the game. So you could say, I'm going to play in this maze, or I'm going to play in this maze. And each one could be bigger than the other one. And they give you this depth counter thing. The thing about this game is it does require quite a few parts. Whoops. It does require quite a few parts to, successfully play the game. This is all just like, it'll tell you how long or how big your maze is by placing the cards. See, it's about the size of a card, and that's the size, and it's kind of like a measuring tape, actually. So once you get your board set up, then each player has their own deck. So this is an example of one deck that I built. This is Lara Croft. You can play other characters. I did get a bunch of other character cards. I didn't like them as much as Lara Croft because she has better abilities. So you have these characteristics on each character right there. And so like one is her search power, one's her attack power, one's her skill set. So they all have different meanings in the game. So when you're playing the cards, you can you have to kind of go by your character's stats. And then, as you would expect in a Tomb Raider game, you got things like items that you can pick up. I think there's your small medi pack. Then you got traps, like a swinging, what is that anyways, platform, just like a, kind of like something you'd also expect if there was a Super Mario Brothers game. Things swinging around or obstacles that get in your way. And then you got your weapons. You got your magnum pistols and stuff. And so to get these items, you have to travel around your board, so that every time you go to move your character, your turn, you get to move, you flip over a card and then you place it in front of you, and that's the location that you're in. Unless it's already set on the board, like if you're playing the preset version. And then the arrows will tell you which way to go. The other thing that's interesting too is that they give you a character. They give you a bunch of these plastic pieces that you can use as your character. So again, it's kind of playing like a board game, which is kind of neat. Like I think this is a pretty interesting idea. Definitely not as competitive as, say, Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon or Magic. I mean, a lot of this has to do with dice rolls too, which is a little similar to Pokemon if you've ever played it. Because each card has a number in the corner there, and it'll coincide with the number on your character, and that's how many dice you get to roll. So if you want to choose, say, your think ability, which is 3, you get to roll 3 dice to try and beat that 15 or whatever it is in the corner. If you beat it, you either get the item or you defeat the trap. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot that happens in this game. The other cool thing is, the object of the game is to find the exit of the tomb. And you don't know where that is sometimes. It could be mixed up. So you would have your cards face down, all face down on the table, and you're flipping them over as you move your way around trying to find that exit tomb. Another thing they give you is, which I find is a little bit annoying about it, is these, I don't know if you can see that, these little pieces of paper. And they're like arrows and stuff, so you can add exits to the tomb pieces. Because if you see on this one here, you'll see some yellow arrows. That tells you which way your character can move to the next location. So if it doesn't have an arrow there, you can't go that way. But they do give you these cardboard cutouts that you can actually, see if I can find an arrow there. This one right here. A little hard to see. These are really tiny pieces. But you can add that onto the card, and now you actually have an exit. Certain cards will give you that ability to do that. I mean, overall, the game is pretty neat. Another thing I thought was cool was when you die, you don't actually die. You actually just get a reset, kind of a continue. So your character kind of goes back to the start. You lose all your weapons, your items, and then you have to start again. Meanwhile, the opponent can still keep going. So, not many games have a reset button. So that's kind of cool. I mean, this game is very much like this. It's in card game form. That being said, I don't think it needed to be a collectible card game. Much like the Star Wars game, it probably could have just been sold as is, as a standard play game that you buy all the cards, the living card game. But this was in a time when CCGs, collectible card games, were all the rage, and you know, they were selling booster packs. So I would think if you're a Tomb Raider fan, if you really like these style of games, if you like card games, try and find it. It's you can probably find them on eBay. They can't be much. They have starter decks. It gives you everything you need to play a basic game. You don't even need that many cards. Oops. You don't even need that many cards. I mean, I think it's like a deck of 40. These are your cards here. But it's actually a pretty fun game, and I mean, I've played it a few times, and one more thing to say about it is there's actually a solitaire version, and a lot of card games don't have that option. So just that alone, like, you can actually play this by yourself if you really want to. Anyways, I hope you liked the video. Let me know what you think of the game. If have you ever heard of it? Do you like Tomb Raider? Is there any other card games you like? And what you think should have been a card game anyways. Hope you liked the video. Subscribe. Leave a comment below. Talk to you later.